Good day everyone. Today we were going to discuss the production of China. In here are the three well-known production in China. The one is Alibaba in China, the world's biggest online commerce company. Its three main sites, Taobao, Tmall and Alibaba.com, have hundreds of millions of users and host millions of merchants and businesses. Alibaba handles more business than any other e-commerce company. Alibaba is the most popular destination for the online shopping in the world faster growing e-commerce market. Transaction on its online sites totaled $248 billion last year, more than those of eBay and Amazon.com combined. The second is the Changchun Film Studio Group Corporation. Chinese Changchun Film Studio Group Corporation is a Chinese film production company in Changchun. It is one of the studio transition from the 1940s and has been considered as one of the cornerstones of the Chinese film industry. And the third one is the China Film Group Corporation, also known CFGC, is the largest, most influential state-owned film enterprise in the People's Republic of China. According to the Forbes, it is a state monopoly that all imported films have to work with. It also runs theaters and finances, produces and distributes films. China Film Group Corporation produces films. This company produces and distributes movies, videos, television programs, and more. China Film Group provides its product throughout China.
Are you familiar about Chinese cultures? Or do you have an idea what Chinese culture is? Good day everyone, today we were going to discuss about Chinese culture. Come, let's dig to it. Culture is one of the world's oldest cultures tracing back to thousands of years ago. Important components of Chinese culture includes ceramic architecture, music, literature, martial arts, cuisine, visual arts, philosophy, and religion. First is ceramics. A well-kept porcelain piece can last for over 1,000 years. Chinese porcelain has a long life. Authentic Chinese porcelain made from kaolin quartz and feldspar in the right proportions is an extremely durable and translucent material. The potter is working on a piece of porcelain. Next is architecture. In a sense, architecture is the carrier of cultures. Style of Chinese ancient architecture are rich and varied, such as temples, imperial palace, altars, pavilions, official residence, and folk houses, which greatly reflect ancient thought, the humorous unity of human beings with nature. Music. Chinese vocal music has traditionally been sung in a thin, non-resonant voice or in falsetto and is usually solo rather than choral. All traditional Chinese music is melodic rather than harmonic. Chinese vocal music probably developed from song poems and verse with musics. Next is literature. Writing in China dates back to the hieroglyphs that were used in Shang Dynasty of 1700 and 1050 BC. Chinese literature is a vast subject that spans thousands of years. China's literary works include fiction, philosophical and religious works, poetry, and scientific writings. Next is martial arts. Chinese Kung Fu. Martial arts, or popularly referred to Kung Fu or Wushu, is a series of fighting styles which has developed over a long historical period in China. Nowadays, it is regarded as a traditional sport, gaining more popularity and even stands as a representative of Chinese culture. This is cuisine. Chinese people in general are not concerned about nutrition as Western culture. They are more concerned with the food's texture, flavor, color, and aroma. There are the crucial points of good Chinese cooking. Chinese daily meals consist of our food groups: grains, vegetables, fruit, and meat. Visual art, calligraphy and painting. Chinese characters evolved from pictures and signs, and the Chinese arts of calligraphy developed naturally from its unique writing system through the ages. Great calligraphies developed representative calligraphic styles of their times. Next is philosophy. Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism are considered the three pillars of ancient Chinese society, instead of one tradition taking over and pushing the others out. The three philosophies have influenced society alongside each other, changed each other, and at times blended together. Next and the last is religion. China is a country with a great diversity of religious beliefs. The main religions are Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, Catholicism, and Protestantism. Citizens of China may freely choose and express their religious beliefs and make clear their religious affiliations.
The government of China. It consists of legislative, executive, military, supervisory, judicial, and procedural branches. The National People Congress is the highest state organ with control over the election and supervision of officials of other government organs. The legislature meets annually for about 2 weeks in March to review and approve major new policies, directions, laws, the budget, and major personnel changes. The permanent legislative organ that adopts most national legislation, interprets the Constitution and laws, and conduct constitutional reviews. The State Council, also referred to as the Central People's Government, is China's executive organ headed by the Premier of China. China's judicial organs perform procedural and court functions. China's courts and supervised by the Supreme People's Court, which is headed by the Chief Justice. This frequently causes conflict between the chief executive and the party secretary, and such is widely seen as intentional to prevent either from becoming too powerful. Some special cases include the special administrative regions of Hong Kong and Macau, where, according to constitution and respective basic laws, most national laws do not apply, and the autonomous regions, where, following Soviet practice, the chief executive is typically a member of the local ethnic group, while the party general secretary is non-local and usually Han Chinese.
Economic in China. Since 2010, China has had the world's second largest economy in terms of nominal GDP, totaling approximately 15.66 trillion US dollar to 101.6 trillion yuan as of 2020 in terms of purchasing power parity. China's economy has been the largest in the world since 2014 according to the World Bank. China is also the world's fastest growing major economy according to the World Bank. China's GDP grew from 115 billion in 1978 to 14.28 trillion by 2019. China's economic growth has been consistently above 6% since the introduction of economic reform in 1978. China is also the world's largest exporter and second largest importer of goods between 2010 and 2019. China's contribution to global GDP growth has been 25% to 39%.
When you hear the word China, what images pop into your head? A giant panda? The Great Wall? Chinese New Year fireworks? Either way, it's not likely to be a church or a mosque. China is a secular state. No surprise then that China has a population of people who say belong to no religion. But does no religion mean no moral code? Confucianism isn't a religion. It has no gods and doesn't promise an afterlife. But for 2,500 years, the teachings of Confucius have profoundly affected the morals and behavior of Chinese people. Confucianism holds that humans are fundamentally good and can improve through their own efforts. It lays emphasis on acting morally and treating others with compassion. It sees the family as the foundation stone of community, and a harmonious society as the greatest good. Chinese citizens have the constitutional right to follow a religion if they wish, and many religions have emerged and flourished here. Taoism is said to have been founded by Lao Tzu. It promotes the unity of opposites, spiritual virtue, and self-development. Many Taoist sayings have become famous around the world. Without darkness, there can be no light. A journey of 1,000 miles starts under your feet. Taoism has influenced China's ancient folk religions. Their festivities are still a major feature of Chinese life. Take Tomb Sweeping Festival, where ancestors are venerated and remembered, and Dragon Boat Festival, which commemorates the death of an ancient poet and minister. Both are now national holidays and celebrated by families across the country. Other major religions have arrived from outside China, evolving and adapting to become their own unique Chinese versions. Buddhism arrived in waves over the last 2,000 years along the Silk Road, over the Himalayas from India, and from Southeast Asia. As a result, Chinese Buddhism is a unique blend of different schools mixed with folk religion and Taoism. Buddhism has had a strong influence on Chinese thought and culture, and is the most popular religion in China today. With more than 220,000 monks and nuns, and hundreds of millions of people who believe in Buddhism. Islam arrived in China with Arab traders and diplomats in the 7th century. Tang Dynasty Emperor Tai Zong immediately made the welcoming gesture of building China's first mosque, which still stands in Guangzhou. Today Muslims are distributed through China, especially in areas inhabited by ethnic minorities, like the Hui, who speak Mandarin and live mainly in the north and west. China is a multi-ethnic, multi-religious civilization, and there are around 23 million Chinese Muslims. The rise of Christianity is the real surprise. Christians first settled in China as early as the 700s, but numbers were small until the 20th century. Today, it's growing fast, with around tens of millions of Chinese Christians. In terms of belief, Chinese Christianity is the same as Christianity elsewhere, but the church administration is handled independently by the Chinese authorities. Despite this long-standing religious diversity, China has never suffered the cataclysm of religious wars. There's a history of religious tolerance here going back at least 1,000 years. In Quanzhou, Fujian, Taoists, Buddhists, Muslims and Christians have lived side by side for generations. The city's long history of trade and immigration created a tolerant, cosmopolitan and prosperous community. As China is a country where there's freedom of religious belief, no one is forced to follow or give up a religion. The government offers equal public services and social security, whether citizens are believers or not. For example, all monks and nuns in Xizang now get a basic living allowance, health insurance, and a pension. In some places, the government has put regulations in place to support the production of halal food. Annually, aided by a medical team, more than 14,000 Chinese Muslims make the pilgrimage to Mecca. So when you think of China now, do some different images come into your mind?
Population of China. Based on Worldometer elaboration of the latest United Nations data, the current population of China is 1,446,902,858 as of Saturday, November 13, 2021. China 2020 population is estimated at 1,439,392,999 323,776 people at mid-year according to UN data. China population is equivalent to 18.47% of the total world population. China ranks number 1 in the list of countries and dependencies by population. The population density in China is 153 per kilometer squared that totals 397 people per mile squared. The total land area is 9,388,211 kilometers squared that totals 3,624,807 square miles. 60.8% of the population is urban that totals 875,075,919 people in year 2020. The median age in China is 38.4 years. The population grew all over the world. The rise of industry and large-scale agriculture meant that families could be much larger than in the past. The social impact of the urban-rural divide led to more complex societies, cities, and more people.